Now, a suicide prevention charity is touring major cities and regional communities across the country to improve awareness about mental health.
The RUOK conversation Convoy rolls into Sydney this morning as part of its 6-week journey. Reporter Mark Reddie is at the city's Royal Botanic Gardens.
These 4 yellow RUOK cars have rolled into Sydney this morning after visiting communities as far away as Uluru in the Northern Territory. With me now is the charity's CEO Brendan Maher. Brendan, start by telling us, why have you gone on tour and what places have you visited so far?
Well, look, this year, Mark, we wanted to take the message into rural and remote Australia, and it's an important message for all cities, capital cities and small towns. It's all about this year reinforcing the 4 steps to having a conversation with someone you're worried about.
And what are those 4 steps?
The 4 steps are to ask, to listen, to encourage action, and to check in. Hence the 4 vehicles.
So why have you deepened the question from "Are you okay?" to something a bit more in depth?
Well, we don't want anyone to be in any doubt about what to do, if someone says, "I'm not okay." And we also want to be able to activate everyone's sense of responsibility to reach out and support someone that they're worried about. And by providing a roadmap of how to do that, we're hoping that more Australians will feel comfortable to reach out to someone if they're struggling with life.
As you say, there's been a big focus on regional and rural communities. Why is that?
Well, services are fewer and far between in regional and remote communities. And what we want to do this year is activate a set of resources that we all have, but are quite often held hostage by fear and stigma. And of course, those resources are our eyes, our ears and our mouths.
So what are some of the warning signs, I guess, for many of us to look out for?
Well, life happens to all of us. I mean, we have a relationship breakdown, someone dies, we run into financial problems. All of those things can be, a trigger for us, not doing so well. So if you see a change in someone's behaviour, they're not quite themselves, it's a good opportunity to sort of get alongside them and say, look, you're not returning my calls, or I don't see much of you these days. Is everything going okay? I think making an observation around a change in the person that you know is really important when you want to ask that question.
So you've been everywhere from Katherine down to Hobart and you're going up to Cairns. What are some of the stories that are coming out from some of these communities?
Well, when we get into communities and we set up our event, people see it as a safe place to come and talk to us and to share their stories. And there's a lot of stories out there. I mean, there's no media guidelines on someone coming up to you and sharing kind of what's happened in their lives. And it's good because we want to hope that people, when they interact with our team, walk away feeling more empowered, more hopeful and a little bit unburdened, I suppose.
What are some of the issues you're finding out about in regional and rural areas, some of the problems?
Well, I mean, obviously, regional and remote areas are, extreme weather events, fewer jobs, fewer services. Everyone you speak to will talk about the fact that they wouldn't live anywhere else. I mean, the bush is a great place to be. Obviously, smaller communities, people tend to sort of know your business more than, perhaps in the big cities. But, effectively, it's a message that the community is embracing and, they're glad that we've been able to sort of come through.
We're still a few weeks away from Are You OK Day on the 14th of September. What are you doing differently this year?
Well, the main thing is moving it out of it's always sort of been a Sydney-centric event. And this year we're having Are You OK Day in Cairns in North Queensland. We want to show all Australians that this is a campaign for everyone. Look, at the end of the day, we also want to be more than just one day a year. Are You OK Day is our grand final, of course, but we want people to be able to have that conversation 365 days of the year if they're worried about someone.
Brendan Maher, thanks very much for joining us. So there you go, the Are You OK conversation convoy heads to Bourke in far western New South Wales on Monday, and then it will finish up in Cairns on the 14th of September for Are You OK Day.